today on this episode, what we're going to be doing is talking a little bit about...
It's so hot here.
I'm trying to do an episode here. What's going on?
It just feels really hot in this car.
So it does.
To you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I love this truck, so I just kind of want to ride in it.
I am so tired of this truck.
Are you? She thinks it's funny. What she's trying to say is, in this episode, what are we doing is we're going to be talking about kind of whether you should sell your old truck and buy a new truck, or, you know, you've been thinking like, you know what, should I sell this truck? And you're looking online at the forums and saying, should I sell my yada yada yada? Well, that's what this episode's going to be about. So stay tuned and enjoy. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. You know, it's summertime. It's vacation time. Where I live, kids are already going back to school. My son Luke is 5 years old now, so he's heading to kindergarten and on the path of something. But anyway, I wanted to do a video about, you know, I was thinking a lot about this truck here, and I don't know, sometimes I get tantalized. I get a drive to go online and start looking at different trucks on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and it's like, man, these moderately new trucks, you know, 2-3 years old, maybe 4 years old, the prices are going down on them, and it's it always makes me think, like, do I keep this truck? And I remember when I've had other trucks in the past, I've always kind of like would Google search on the forums, like, should I keep my 2001 Duramax? And people would say, oh, you should get rid of it or whatever. Or, you know, I had a Dodge 12 valve or a 6.4 Power Stroke, which everyone should get rid of that truck if you own it. But anyway, it always comes down to, should you or shouldn't you? And so what this episode is going to be about is kind of like some bullet points with some mild explanations as to why maybe keeping your old truck, whatever that means for you, is maybe better. So not that this is a list of like number one is the number one, it's kind of in a random array, but number, to me, at least for myself personally, number one reason why I don't think you should buy a slightly used, fairly new truck or a new truck is the financing. Assuming y'all don't have, you know, $60K plus to purchase a truck like that, you're going to be financing it. And you know, I'm an advocate of Dave Ramsey, and I've never had a truck payment or a car payment, and I just can't fathom every month watching that money go out of my paycheck. And not to mention, of course, by the end of the loan period, you're always going to be spending way more than the truck is worth. So if you're like most people and you don't have $60,000 cash plus handy to, you know, to buy something, I think, again, number one is don't finance your truck. It's going to make you poor later on, or potentially. I got a thing on here. So there's this, like, you know, it's kind of the number one. The second thing would be kind of like, it's the quote would be like, cheaper to keeper. You know, it's like, I've made the mistake again of having different trucks and spending money on wheels, tires, lift, oil coolers, yada yada yada, and you're putting money into it. Some folks can actually do the work themselves, some can't. So you're putting money into this vehicle. You're hopefully making that vehicle more reliable. You are, of course, not going to get that compensation back when you go to sell it. So the point being is that, you know, if you like the platform, if you like the truck, of course there's some things you don't like about it, but if it's, you know, if it's got a good body and the motor's not destroyed, it's probably honestly better to keep it. So that'd be my third one. The fourth one to me is just the diesels in general. So again, I've never had a DPF truck. I've had a DPF truck. I've never had a DEF truck. I had an 08 Power Stroke. It's got a particulate filter. I don't honestly know what it's like when you're kind of just like, grocery shopping type of driving, a little here, a little there, pick up your kids, all that. I imagine it's not getting hot. It's kind of sitting up the filter gets clogged. I'd imagine it's just not going to be beneficial to that particular system, and you're going to have DPF problems just because you're not running the truck hard enough. So although this does have an EGR and I'd love to get rid of it at some point, I don't have DEF, and I shouldn't really idle a diesel anyway, but I don't have to worry about that. So I like that this is not an old truck. They definitely come out older. But it doesn't have some of the new gizmos for the EPA that they put on there. So that would be number 4. I guess the 5th thing would be, minus the Cummins. Like when you look at their new platform, the 6.7, you look under the hood, it's relatively still, especially when you take the plastic crap off that covers the EGR, it's still pretty basic. I think it's still fairly similar, but there's a lot of computer parts to this. There's a lot of things such as that. When you look at a PowerStroke 6.7, you open up the hood, you're like, there's just pipes and hoses and everything. I can't even see the turbo. I can't see valve covers. I can't see anything. It's just a gob of stuff. And when you look at PowerStroke videos and people want to replace their intake or whatever, it's just amazing how complicated it looks. Now I'm sure if I owned a truck, I might with time be able to take a look at those parts and try to understand what's going on, much like this truck. Because when you look at this truck, it's not like it's perfectly easy and everything's just wide open. It is kind of complicated, but when I've been owning it for a while, I've figured it out, and I can pretty much tell you what every piece is. But anyway, easy if you're into working in a truck. It's easier, mildly easier. Again, I'm looking down to look at this thing. This might be 5. No, we get it. Messed up my numbers. The next thing, an important point, again, if you kind of like to wrench on your truck, every time you get a new truck, you're kind of like starting over from scratch. You don't know where your fuel filters are. You don't know how to replace your fuel filters. All these things that you've spent some time with your old truck learning where these things are coming from, you have to learn it over, and that could take time. And I suppose that you could do that, but for me, I'd rather master a particular platform, understand the platform, and then be able to kind of know what I'm doing, and the curve is already there as far as fixing things. So I'm getting a little mixed up because my family's here, and there's my son with no pants on. This is, again, I think I'm at 6. What I love about trucks, besides they look cool and the utility of them and they can do whatever, right? Number one thing is like when you've had that truck for a long time, you go the distance on the truck, if you know what I'm saying. My dad's brother has a 73 square body Chevy to 2-wheel drive. He's had it since he's purchased it. It's from 1973. I think is that 51 years ago? Maybe, yeah, it sounds like it. That's amazing stories, and you think about, not only have you had the truck that long, but you've had all of these memories built in with the truck that are kind of, they're irreplaceable. So when I think about my truck, I've only had this truck now since 2020, so I'm on year 4. I want to look back 20 years from now and go, wow, I remember all the trips we took with my 2 boys and Courtney, and we bought a trailer and towed it, and I was in Reno, and all of a sudden when I downshifted, the boost gauge went up, and then I pulled a boot and it made a huge noise. All these stories that go along with your old truck that you're not gonna be able to savor, I guess, if you don't keep it. And other things too. My dad has an old truck that my dad passed away about 22 years ago, and I still have his 1960 Chevy truck. And and it does need work, and I've always wanted to incorporate it in the videos, but I don't have a lot of things of my dad's. I can maybe some notes or some cards he wrote me and a couple of things, but that truck is so important to me. It's so valuable beyond dollars. And if you don't keep your old truck, I mean, you'll never be able to experience that with your kids if you have kids. So I love that part. Going the distance, keeping your truck. It's like, come on, that's amazing. Again, I'm probably at 7, I guess. I like this part. So, you know, again, this is a 2006 truck. We're talking, it's 18 years old. It'll almost be 20 years old. When I think about new trucks, I always get kind of upset because I think of, okay, I want a few things from a truck. I don't need all the glitz and glamour. I don't need the $90,000 truck. I want a truck to be 4-wheel drive. I want to have a crew cab. I want the basic modern amenities of power steering and power windows and air conditioning and Bluetooth and maybe a backup camera. I can always do that as upgrades. And I'm happy, right? So the point is like, again, 18-year-old truck, 2006. Yeah, it doesn't have like massage seats. It has got heated seats. It doesn't have cold seats. It doesn't have a map on my screen, double din screen. But it's got everything I want, you know, power steering. It's got an AC, although it's not working right now. It's got, you know, I don't even really care about power adjusted seats. I didn't care about that. It's got what I want. Like, I don't really need much more. I just want those things, and I want reliability. And you know, reliability depends on the platform and what you've done with it. But ultimately, it's like these older trucks that are 18 years old, 20 years old, they still have modern conveniences that make it worth keeping, or you can implement modern conveniences by, you know, aftermarket stuff, stereos that have Bluetooth, reverse camera, etc. Look at this truck. I already kind of said that my next one was just going to be, and I already kind of said it, I guess I'll just kind of keep with that a little bit. These trucks aren't cheap to fix. These trucks aren't, this truck's relatively cheap on the selling it third party, I guess, selling it, buying it, you know, right now. I mean, this is going to be depending on where you live, $12,000, $15,000 truck. It does require money when you put into it. I mean, I think like if I had to put it all in, like as far as like purchase price, things like remote oil cooler, things like new Mishimoto radiator, things like intercooler pipes, things like cold air intake, body mounts, tires. I did a torque converter, like a Banks torque converter. You put money into it. So I'm probably like, I bought the truck for $15,000. I've probably honestly put in 20 grand. Now, if I sell this truck, there's no way I'm going to get $35,000 from this truck. No freaking way. I'm probably going to look to sell it for 17 to 18, and because I'm a terrible salesman, someone's going to say 14,000, I'm going to say sold. You're going to lose your butt on this thing. So I'm, at this point, feel pot committed in this truck. I like the way it sounds. Sure would like to, do some deletions, which might do in the future. It's still kind of complicated to work on the truck, but I feel like I've seen enough videos and I've done enough things in this truck that I can do a lot myself, and I really, really like that. Plus, like I said, when I went to medical school, by the end of my 4 years, I'm $272,000 in debt. Like, I'm in it, man. It's like, I ain't not stopping now. I got some debt to pay off in that case. In this case, it's like $35,000. I'll never get that money back. And I've done it too many times of putting money into a truck and then selling it and never honestly getting that money back in the sale. So, I hope this video works for you. It's something I kind of wanted to talk about. I think it's an interesting topic. If you're, again, like there's pros and cons to everything. A new truck is cool. It's definitely more reliable. Kind of just depends on like what you're looking for. But if you're anything like me, you kind of like the challenge, and you like to know that you can, you know, work on some of your stuff by yourself, like, then get an older truck. Understand it's gonna nickel and dime you. I think that's like probably the extra little, like, you know, asterisk is you're gonna get nickel and dime in this truck. It's gonna be like, you know, the door actuators don't work and don't lock the door, or the window won't go up, or for me, like, I can't get the AC to stay cool, which I'm probably gonna have to change everything over the winter with my uncle. Those things make it super hard to continue the fight on these vehicles. But if you can get through it, you know, get through it, and when you have a problem, fix it completely. Try not to just like put little band-aids on it, because if it just comes back and it's just a circle of problems, you're gonna sell it 100%. But again, I think for me, keeping an old truck, for my top 2 reasons for myself, for like, one, it's like I want to go the distance. I want to be the dude. I want to be the 70-year-old that still has this truck, and where my kids are like, you know, bragging to their friends saying, my dad still has his truck from when I was a kid. I want that. And also, I'm not cheap, although my wife would probably call me cheap. I don't want to spend all my money on a vehicle, and I would be the kind of person that wouldn't want to take out debt for a vehicle, so I would be handing someone $60,000 plus. Not in the position to do that right now, and if I did have that money, it would be hard to get rid of it. So anyway, hope you like this video. There'll be some more. I am gonna be, again, working on American Issue, which that's gonna be a little bit later. I do wanna, there's a Banks downpipe that comes off the turbo that apparently is California compliant that I want to do a little video on, kind of do some before and afters, EGTs, etc. Told you about the front brakes, but hopefully I can just get more diesel stuff in. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy watching it on YouTube, and it sounds like you guys like it too. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good week, and we'll hope I catch you on the YouTube next time. Peace.